Well, hello there, beautiful humans, and welcome to the video. I'm off the leash today. Hubby, younger stepson, and Urkel the Wonder Dog have gone up to the cottage and left me on my own in town. So what does Auntie do when she has no other ties on her attention? Of course, she goes metal detecting. And I've decided that I'm going to hunt a small city park, which has a beach, and in fact, it's not the major beach that I detected before when it was so quiet, but it is a smaller beach that is around the lake from there. So I will turn you around and you can have a look at what I'm talking about. So here's where we are. This is a beach on the south end of the lake that my city is situated on. It's a Friday afternoon, so people are at school and at work. There are a few people here. There are plenty of seagulls, and there are plenty of Canada geese. There's a nice little playground, and a whole whack more geese. So to complete the circle here, there's a residential area over here. Obviously that's not on my radar. And over in this area here, at one time, apparently there was a dance hall which burned down, I think, 1958. So there might be something really interesting there. So first off, I'm going to take a swing around the playground, and then maybe a swing around the beachfront, and then maybe I'll attack that site where the fire was. No doubt there'll be a ton of iron, but I'll switch up my settings and see if I can find something good. I'll get back to you when I find something interesting. The lake my city's on is really deep, and apparently we have our own version of the Loch Ness Monster here. Could this be in honor of it? Let's pretend it is. My first target is a lead fishing weight with the little clip still on it and a bit of the monofilament line. That rang up around 49 to 51. I thought it might be a pull tab, but it was a little bit lower, or I should say a little bit higher. So there we go, a little lump of lead. Glad to have that target. That's kind of interesting for a first target. I'll check the hole again. That was it. My next target is the end of a pencil, mashed flat. Boy, these geese really know how to poop. Look at that. 2.5 inches worth. Those are some big birds. Well, my first coin is a dime. And I cannot see the date on it because my eyes are not good enough. Maybe you can see it there. I'm glad to have a dime. My first coin, and it's at the roots of this cut down tree. I'll check the date later and let you know. Well, this wasn't a terribly satisfying target, but at least it's interesting. I went down 8 inches to get this wad of foil and this rusty nail. That explains the super funky signal. I didn't know what I was after. But in the plug there was glass. There were 3 different colors of glass, including this nifty kind of piece of a screw top. So, and a drinking straw, plastic. So that's going to go in the garbage. Well, this explains it. This plug doesn't belong to me. I was digging this one and I saw this edge. So somebody was here before me. That explains why the tot lot was completely silent. Boo! And it's a big twisted up can lid. So no wonder whoever it was left it. But I'm still a baby detectorist, so I dig all my signals. Although I'm running it on coin right now, so I can find silver or gold or nickel, and apparently aluminum. I'm not digging iron today. On to the next. You are looking at my happy face because the smarty pants detectorist who was cherry picking around this old tree stump missed something really neat. This was a dog's breakfast, this signal. It was a mess. I had foil, I had mylar, I had glass, and do you recognize who's on this penny? Yes, it is. It's King George with a dirty face. This is officially the oldest coin I have dug to date. It is a 1943 penny. And Mr. or Miss Smarty Pants didn't dig this signal because it was too weird. But at the moment, I am no expert and no signal is too weird for me. Happy, happy Auntie. I just want to add here that when my parents were young, teenagers and newlyweds, they swam at this beach. This was their swimming hole. Who knows if that 1943 penny might have belonged to one of them. It's a nice thought. Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. Love you both. So here are the spoils from around this big old tree trunk, which is about 4 feet across. I've got wads of foil. I've got lots of glass plastic, iron, including a Corona cap, aluminum can lid, this nifty little rivet which rang up sweet, and I don't know what this is. Piece of wire, and 2 coins. A 1943 penny, and some kind of dime. Well, I've moved down to the beach now. What a drag. My first signal is the liner from a jar. Fooled me. I still dig everything and I don't mind. Well, I got my magnifying glass out, and the dime that I found over by the sawn-off tree was a 1987. And this one I found in the sand is a 1978. How cool is that? It was down deep. What's that, about 7 inches? I hunted it. It's mine. Pretty sweet. I remember my mom telling me this beach was rocky and hard on the feet. Well, it sure is hard to dig. It's no fun at all, and all I'm pulling is rusty nails, even though I'm on my coin program. So I'm going to give this a miss and go back up to the grassy areas. My town is pretty though, isn't it? And there are Canada geese. They always look very majestic. But they are poop machines. Unbelievable. It's a twist tie. And I chased it down that far. But wound up the way it is, it rang up just like a Canadian copper penny. Fooled me. Well, I'm under this tree now. I really had to work for this. It's some kind of little clip. It wasn't deep, but it was right down under this root. I tried to get at it from behind. It was right here underneath, about an inch under the ground. Oh boy, did I have to work. All for this little iron clip, and I have no idea what it's for. Anyway, it's an artifact. And once again, under all these roots, it's a piece of aluminum strapping. Well, my detector didn't lie. This rang up as copper. Sure looks like it. If not, it's iron with green paint on it, but it rang up like copper to me. I'm starting to lose the sun. Check out that convention of seagulls. There's some mallard ducks here as well. I like the noise they make. I'm not so fond of the seagull screeching, but they're quiet at the moment. Well, hello again, and welcome to the wrap-up for my hunt at the city park and beach. As I indicated in some of the digging videos, this park had been hit before by a detectorist, and very recently too, because one of the plugs I found still had clean cuts around it and the sand was only barely dry. So I think they might even have been there as recently as this morning. The soil was very sandy and easy to dig, but the beach was a nightmare. It was full of little pebbles about the size of lima beans and just hideous to dig. And all I found on the beach was this rusty iron. So boo hiss to that. I found this big old thing. I think it's, I don't know, was it like a tent support or something? A rusty old Allen key. That's funny. Couple of beer caps, old Vienna, undecipherable. The twist tie that rang up like a Canadian penny. This nightmare thing. Oh my goodness, these are the bane of my existence. They ring up so sweet, and they're just mylar. A couple of pull tabs, and I found a little zebra mussel. So the better things, more interesting. I don't know what this is. It's not magnetic, so it's either aluminum or something else. I think it's aluminum. It's super light. Little piece of wire. My nifty little rivet is actually ferrous. It clings to the magnet. So that must have been dropped very recently because it's still really clean. My little squashed flat pencil end. My little oddment of copper. Nice and green. The funny little iron clip. If you can give me any ideas about what that might have been for, I'd be glad to hear them. And my lead fishing weight, still with its little clasp and its little bit of fish line. Now this thing, I think, might have got sliced by the mower because it is completely flattened on that side and this piece is peeled back. It's got a big chunk out of it. Yeah. But I like the shape of that. I might put that in the display cabinet at the cottage. Now this thing, which I thought was just a piece of aluminum strapping, I'm wrong. It's something because it's got this diamond design. Stripes. It's easier to see on the back. It's got this stripe with this diamond design on it. I haven't the faintest idea what that is. Here's the clean edge here. It's very corroded and worn thin. I have no idea what this is. If someone could kindly help me out, You see the size of it? It's about 3 inches long by 3/4 of an inch wide. It might have been an inch wide at the beginning, and it's got this neat diamond design on it. I don't think it was a bracelet or anything like that. It just didn't seem to strike me that way, but I got nothing. Help me out, folks. And I found 3 coins. The first one was a 1987 dime. It's got that neat toning on it. When I first pulled it out, I thought maybe I'd found my first silver. Nope, not yet. And this one, the 1978 dime, I pulled out of the sand. It was the only good target I found in the beach. I'm not prepared to dig down 6 inches in that hideous pea gravel. It was nasty. Pretty dime. And my best find today, and the oldest coin I've ever dug. Yes, there's King George VI. It's a 1943 penny. And there we go. I am super happy with this. That makes me really glad. So there we go, my oldest coin yet. There weren't many finds at this hunt, obviously, because whoever was there cherry-picked all the good stuff, except this. So thanks for coming along on my little hunt. And this is Auntie, waving goodbye. See you soon.